I hope you're ready for this, because I sure am. On September 26th, Annihilus Beta is getting a massive new patch, which will provide much needed buffs, balance, and in some cases, a complete overhaul of the way we play our builds. In today's video, I'll showcase the reworked skills. For more information about how to get access to the closed beta, check the description and feel free to join the Discord server. I will also be streaming on Twitch at launch. Feel free to join in at twitch.tv/lindsayfly. What you see in the clips will not 100% reflect what the skill looks like as you pick it up. Alright, enough talking, let's get into the video. The first skill we're looking at is Impale. Impale is a physical throwing skill that upon hitting a bleeding target will now release a ring of blood, dealing Impale's full damage to all nearby enemies, as well as hitting the main target a second time. In the current patch, it does not have the blood ring effect, so this will be a big buff to Impale as a whole. The new changes to Jab is that the range now benefits more from your weapon range, increasing its base range overall. Jab's width, range, and damage now scales with increased attack speed. The base animation speed has also been slightly increased. Jab works in tandem with another skill called Skewer. If an enemy has recently been hit by Skewer, hitting the same enemy with Jab thereafter sprays javelins in all directions around the target. This is how it currently works as well, but I just wanted to clarify this, as it could be hard to tell in the showcase video. The arrows from Rain of Arrows will now ricochet like Barrage Arrow, spawning up to 3 Barrage Arrows at each explosion. Previously, it only rained down arrows from the sky and did not have any effects following. This will definitely make it a lot better for clearing, but the skill does have a cooldown. Shattering Arrow now releases an additional Frost Nova when the secondary projectiles hit a chilled enemy. Previously, this was not an effect, so this is quite big for better clear as well as some extra single target. Onto the Assassin, which we currently only have one big skill change on for this patch that we've at least seen so far. Combo Mastery was completely changed in its core functionality. Previously, it granted you both dodge chance as well as more damage per charge on your character. Upkeeping charges from multiple skills made you both tanky and dealing insane amounts of damage. The image on the right is the newly reworked Combo Mastery. Now, it grants you different bonuses based on which combo skill you're empowered by, which happens when you reach max stacks on a charge skill. Now you however also need to invest a lot more points if you want to have more than 2 benefits from the passive. Bone Spike's Shrapnel Explosion will now spawn an additional Bone Spike, starting from the body of condemned enemies if it hits them, allowing it to cause potential chain reactions. In the current patch, Bone Spike is literally only a cone of spikes and does not have any other effects. The new rework makes it a lot more interesting, and the fact that Bone Spike now could even start a chain reaction on its own if you inflict Condemn, which is the magic damage ailment, is pretty damn cool. Poison Slash has been renamed to Plague Strike. Plague Strike releases a cone of toxic clouds, while now also inflicting a plague on the main target, causing them to continuously release a poisonous cloud that damages all nearby enemies, while also increasing the duration of all poison effects. Plague Strike can now be used with all weapon types, and the damage per level has been increased. A noteworthy point to this is that poison damage stacks infinitely in Annihilus, and each stack has its own duration. This means that the increased poison duration from the skill itself is a multiplier in damage, and the poison clouds keep hitting the same target or surrounding targets over and over again. Poison Maelstrom now spawns corpses on demand. This is now the only source of corpse spawning outside of the Gravedigger's Vial unique potion. Necromancers really needed this for skills like Corpse Explosion, Poison Explosion, and just help for reviving monsters at the start of a game or in situations where no corpses are available. The Barbarian has also received a set of reworked skills. Avalanche now also releases a ring of rocks when hitting an enemy that is affected by Seismic Slam. Avalanche's cast speed now scales with attack speed and is now tagged as an AoE skill, as the ring of rocks can benefit from this stat. The skill has also received a hefty damage buff. Previously, this skill only rained down rocks from above, and that was it, basically functioning as a blizzard type skill. Earthquake's Avalanche proc is now equal to your Earthquake's current level and half of Avalanche's current level, instead of vice versa. Earthquake's cast speed now scales with attack speed. Rend's Cleave now also hits your initial target. Rend has been redesigned and will now release a Ring of Blood when the cleave hits a bleeding enemy. Also, Rend's Cleave will now put a debuff on all enemies hit for 5 seconds that increases their chance to bleed, instead of just increasing your chance to inflict bleed with Rend itself. Divine Storm is a buff skill on the Paladin that constantly fires hammers at nearby enemies. In the new patch, it will now throw an additional hammer every 4 levels, maxing out at 12 hammers total at level 40. Base missile range and speed has been slightly increased, and it has also gained quite a big damage buff. Previously, the skill only fired 1 hammer at a time, so this is a big change in general. Smite has been completely changed. It will now always damage and brand enemies, even without activating Holy Armament. If Holy Armament is active, Smite will release Holy Bolts at nearby enemies. The Holy Bolt amount will increase for every 4 skill levels of Holy Armament, including soft points. Base hit and brand radius now scales with increased area of effects. Previously, Smite had different effects based on the level of your Holy Armament buff, and was in general not very useful, even though the concept was interesting. The reworked skills we've seen for the Sorceress are all Battle Mage skills, which is the melee Sorceress archetype. The first one on the list is Combustion, which fires a wave of fiery explosions in a cone. Now, it will also fire explosions in all directions if you're hitting a burning enemy. In the video, you also see these swirling firebolts, which are procced from the infused fire buff that can be found on the Battle Mage tree. Icicle Flurry has been reworked to now also trigger Frost Novas upon hitting a chilled enemy. These Frost Novas can of course be scaled with increased area of effect modifiers, and both the base Frost Nova range as well as the Icicle count is based on your weapon range. Jolt functions like Zeal, where it always strikes 3 times, but it has received some massive changes to its core functionality. The next hit delay has been decreased to 2, down from 4, which will allow all the bolts spawned from the initial melee attack to hit the same target, as the middle bolt was previously not dealing damage due to the next hit delay. Jolt's lightning bolts will now also split an additional time if they've hit a shocked enemy. The thunders proccing in the video are from the infused lightning buff, which can also be found on the Battle Mage tree. Last but not least, we have the Druid. Unfortunately, we only have one skill to show here, but it will most likely be a game changer for all elemental Druid builds. Armageddon will now have a 50% chance on casting a skill to unleash Armageddon. Depending on the amount of Maelstrom energy used to cast Armageddon, you'll have a longer duration, and also proc a Wall of Ice on cast. Previously, Armageddon was only cast once, and that was it. This will be an amazing skill to use on bosses in particular. That was all of the showcases I had today. If you've got this far in the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. It really helps a lot. You can also find me on twitch.tv/lensyfly, where I'll be streaming the launch of the new beta season. If you have any questions regarding Annihilus, feel free to comment down below or go to discord.gg/Annihilus. Thank you all for watching.